So welcome to our second lesson on the ODE features. And now we're going to talk about data integrity and hash codes, okay? So we saw a little bit about MD5 and hash when we were in Module 1, looking into the metadata behind our school census data sets. But what exactly is a hash, or people also call it an MD5 sum or a checksum? Basically, it's an algorithm that generates a 128-bit value from a file or other type of data. And each time you run this checksum, this hash is going to be a number string created for this specific file. And then, even if one little byte of data has been altered or corrupted for some reason, then when you do a checksum again, the number string is going to change. So that is basically a code for you to see if the file you had before hasn't changed at all, or if nothing happened to it. So when you create this little code, it's going to be just the same every single time, unless something happens to change this file in any way, okay? So we're going to see an example on the slide where you can actually check the file sum of any type of file, if there is one. So you just drag and drop here. So what I'm going to do is I'm here with our school census data. So if you remember, we saw that it had a folder with the data, a folder with the README and the different annexes and other human readable documents. And here in data, we have the actual data set, and we have the supplements that they published that year, and the MD5. So I'm going to show you here on my Windows Explorer the MD5 so we can see what it looks like. So see, basically, this is the hash for the microdata main table, and then there's another hash just for the supplement. So these two CSV files, they each have their own MD5, and the metadata from the government already brings this little TXT file for you to check if the file that you have on your folder is the same file that they had when they produced the table originally, okay? So we're going to check if nothing changed in our file. So you don't have to memorize this code, obviously. We're just going to compare it, okay? So let me go to the website. And here, I'm just going to add our main database. So I'm just going to open it. See, it's a big file, but it was reading it pretty fast. And now let's compare both of them. I'm not going to do any very absolute comparison, but as you can see, it's pretty much the same one. It starts with FB9, DADD, the same here, FB9, DADD, and it ends with D32E85, D32E85. So that's a quick way for you to see if there was any change to your table, okay? And you can use that when you're trying to investigate if a government file, if the source is the government and nothing changed with it when it came from the source, or if someone altered it, an intermediate source, for example. But you can also use it for your own data production, so you can check if there was any corruption in a file while you were working with it. So using the hash works very well with this. So now let's go back to ODE to see where we can see the hash on the metadata part. So here's our file again from our own analysis of the raw school census. So in metadata, if I go on integrity, obviously, that's where it should be. So the hash isn't here because this is a table that I created, and it's a table, so it's not that same table, obviously. And I could just create a hash here, and a hash on the website, for example, and then I'm just gonna input it here for protecting the integrity of my table, okay? So besides the hash in the integrity part of ODE, we can add some more details about our data sets so that our metadata is even richer for people to use and understand. So we can put the total bytes of our table. We can actually put the number of fields, which would be the columns of our table, and the rows, how many rows we have on this table. And some of that information we can actually get here, for example. So we have 527 rows, for example. And here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 columns or fields. So these are all information that can just make our data set even more tidy and according to FAIR principles, and just the best data set we can put out there for people to reuse and build upon. So that's it for lesson number 2. I will see you in the next video.